Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Evil Within 2 Classic Difficulty Walkthrough. We are moving on to Part 6, or as you can tell by the title of this video, it is going to contain Save 6 of 7, and it is going to contain Chapter 13. Basically just Chapter 13. Now, the actual save point is not going to come until the beginning of Chapter 14, but we're not really going to delve much into Chapter 14. We're just going to get there, we're going to hit the save point, and then the next video obviously will cover Chapter 14. Now, at this moment, I still am not sure where I'm going to do my final save. I'm not sure if I'm going to save it for after Chapter 14, or if I'm going to try to push through Chapter 15 and save it right before the final boss of the game. So if you have any ideas, if you have any recommendations, feel free to share them in the comments below, because I'm still trying to contemplate that. Anyway, we start off in Hoffman's safe room, and we are going to make our way back to Post Plus. Now, if you remember, this is where we had to come in Chapter 7 to destroy Stefano's art. I came back here in the last chapter, so I came back here in Chapter 11 to get the sniper rifle. So that means that because I've already been here, and this is why another reason why I recommended coming here in Chapter 11, because I've already been here, the enemy's paths may be different than you see them. So originally my plan, so what we have to do here is we have to get from the Post Plus safe room to the hotel. And then that will be where we could, that was where I was originally going to save my game, so that I could save right before the firewalk. I decided to save at the start of Chapter 13 because getting from here to the hotel where the firewalk begins, it can be tricky. It can be very inconsistent, and I didn't want to put that risk into my walkthrough. So I recommended you guys save at the very start of Chapter 13, because if you happen to die on your way to the hotel, you'll have to do the whole O'Neill fight over again. You'll have to do all of that over again, and I don't think you want to have to do that. So anyway, you should recognize this location here. This is the safe room that we saw in Chapter 7, and like I said, I was here again in Chapter 11. Another reason I recommend saving at the start of Chapter 13 is because I've read online that Chapter 13 can be very buggy. Like, when you're in the actual city before you get to the firewalk, I've heard that things can go terribly wrong. I've heard that the game can crash, there can be a lot of glitches, and I, again, did not want to put that risk into my walkthrough, so I saved at the start of Chapter 13. Where you save, ultimately, is up to you. I leave that decision for you. All I can do is give my recommendation, so I recommend saving at the very start of Chapter 13, and then we'll be able to push on to the firewalk. So, first things first, if you haven't yet been here since Chapter 7, you'll see the flamethrower guy. I think they're called Harbingers. You'll see one of them patrolling around the area. For me, he is in fact going to be here. He's just going to be in a slightly different location, but you're going to see what I'm going to do here. So I just heard him, and I think he saw me somehow. I'm not quite sure how, because I'm in the bushes, but you can see here how he actually comes over to the bushes and shoots his fire into them. So very quickly I shimmied over here to avoid that. I don't know how he saw me, I honestly don't, but that's exactly my point here, is traveling from this location to the hotel to start the firewalk. It's very inconsistent, it's very risky, and I just didn't feel comfortable doing it because I knew that if I died I was going to have to do all of Chapters 11 and 12 over again, and I was not willing to deal with that risk. So again, I will leave that decision up to you, but here's how we are going to get past these enemies. So in the next area, there are going to be two of the big fat guys. Those are the new enemies that we were introduced to in Chapter 12. Once they get close to you, they will explode and they'll cause you a lot of damage. You can survive. In fact, you're about to see me survive one of those explosions, but look what I just did right here. I don't know why they do this, but when you step out of the bushes and approach them, they all go off in the opposite direction. So you can see how they're all just walking away right now. And they will not come back. The regular lost, they'll just keep walking. I don't know why, but that's what they do. And so that's why I intentionally did that. So I waited for the Harbinger to leave. I stepped out of the bushes. I pretended like I was going to advance, and that triggered the enemies to leave. And then I just am going to resort back here to the bushes, because you're going to see that the Harbinger does come back, and I was going to wait for him to do one more circular path before I actually make the move for my exit. Alright, so here he is. He's gonna spray his fire around like a juvenile delinquent. And then eventually he'll continue on his path as well. Now at this moment you'll notice that the regular lost, they are all the way down the street. They're gone. The big guy, he went to the right. Now, unfortunately, that is the direction where we need to go. We're going to be traveling to the right as well. And you're going to see that it's very easy to avoid the first fat guy, but then there's going to be a second fat guy. And he ended up getting me. He caught me in an explosion. Now, to be honest, the only reason he actually got me was because I got careless. So I would recommend equipping either a smoke bolt or a shock bolt right here, preferably a smoke bolt. But so you can see this first guy here. He's just gonna start walking. Pretty easy to get by him. I'm not really concerned. I'm going to stick to this bush, and now I'm going to try to move on to the next bush. Now, for no reason, he turned, and he ended up spotting me. But I don't think the fat guys can climb up those ledges, so you don't really have to worry about him. He's going to turn around and try to get to me the long way. So in that time, I'm going to sneak up to this red truck here. Now, what I should have done is I should have shot a smoke bolt at the fat guy, but I didn't. I thought I could run past him, and you're about to see I nearly paid the price. So I went to jump over this barrier, and somehow he caught me in an explosion. The only reason I did not fall down and get killed was because I was in the animation of hopping over the barrier. Now, the good news is the safe room is right here. So this safe room, originally we did not have access to this in Chapter 7 because we didn't do the side quest. But now we do have access to it because sadly I'm pretty sure the guy who offers the side quest is dead. So now we have access to this safe room in the middle of the map, and that means there's a coffee pot in here which I can use to completely refill all the damage I just took. Now, like I said, I got a little lucky there, but that's why I recommend saving at the beginning of the chapter, because this traveling segment can be very inconsistent and very nerve-wracking, and you don't want to have to redo chapters 11 and 12 because of one stupid mistake. Now, right there, I could have avoided that. If I had just shot my smoke bolt, I could have avoided that damage, but I thought I could run fast enough to get past him, and I guess I was just wrong. There's no other way to put it. So for you, if you haven't saved your game, I recommend you use the smoke bolt. Now, the good news is all you have to do is get to this safe room, and you're in the clear. You're pretty much going to be golden on your way to the hotel. There is going to be one more flamethrower enemy blocking the way, but he is really easy to sneak around. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right here. So you see that when you emerge from the safe room, those firemen that were chasing me are gone. This parking lot is perfectly clear. I don't know why, but there's no enemies here, which is amazing. And so I'm going to creep up to this gate right here. And so you can see the flamethrower guy off in the distance. Again, just kind of spraying his weapon around. Now, I'm going to run up to this concrete slab. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to, you know, I'm a bit aggressive right here. And again, I'm afforded the luxury of being aggressive because I already saved my game. If I hadn't saved my game, I would have been much more timid. Now, right here, I thought I could hop over this container, and it turns out you can't. So instead, what you're going to want to do is when the flamethrower guy goes over here to burn this house, you're going to creep up behind this small brick pillar right here, and you're going to shimmy yourself around this to block the view from him. So you see he's going to run past me. I'm just going to shimmy around the bricks. He's going to go back to spraying his fire, and now we have a clear shot for the hotel. From this point, you can just sprint. You should recognize this location. We were here already in Chapter 7, and now we're here again in Chapter 13. My, how things have not changed. Anyway, we are about to engage in the firewalk, which many consider the hardest part of the game. Now, I do not say this in a bragging fashion. I say this in a factual fashion. I beat this on my first try. I was not expecting to because of what I'd read online, that everyone was having trouble with this part. But I did, and so I really hope that what I'm about to show you helps you get through it on your first try as well. The main things you're going to want to stock up on are shotgun ammo and shock bolt ammo. Those are the two main things I'm going to be using. As far as pistol ammo is concerned, I don't really have to worry about it because, believe it or not, Hoffman is actually going to have a lot of pistol ammo for us. Alright, and a little trick here. If you go over to this, so this is really cool. If you go over to this vending machine in the corner, if you hit it, 2 fuses will come out. And the fuses, remember, are what you use to craft shock bolts. So those are very, very effective. So make sure you hit that vending machine. Get yourself 2 fuses. Those will turn themselves into 2 shock bolts. And now we are ready to engage in the fight. So now we're ready to engage in the crafting. So go through the mirror. Approach Sebastian's workbench, and like I said, we're going to want to focus on 2 things, shock bolts and shotgun ammo. So first things first, let's get ourselves a full supply, or at least as many shock bolts as we can. So you see here I'm going to do 4, or I have a total of 4. I'm going to do a couple explosive bolts, but I end up not needing those. I'm just going to be primarily sticking to the shock bolts. And then shotgun ammo. You're going to want to get some shotgun ammo as well. And that should do it for us. Like I said, don't even bother. Okay, so I did one more shock bolt. Don't even bother crafting any pistol ammo because, like I said, Hoffman's going to have a large supply of it, so you should never worry about running out of pistol ammo. And the good thing is, during the firewalk, there is a supply of shotgun ammo that you can get from these containers. And with that, we are now ready to do the firewalk.
All right, Hoffman.
Arguably, one of the harder sections in the game. Personally, I thought the cabin section in Chapter 10 was more difficult, but the internet, a lot of people online seem to think that this is the toughest part. Again, purely a fact, I beat this on my first try, which I was super proud of, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did that and hope that those strategies can help you as well. So the enemies are going to come in waves, and the thing that makes this tough is sometimes they'll come in front of you, sometimes they'll come from behind you. So what I like to do is I like to just run around in a circle and wait for the enemies to become visible. So first things first, the first enemy is going to appear in front of you, and it will typically take on average 6 pistol shots to put him down. And so we're going to want to focus, much like the O'Neill fight where we started off using our pistol and didn't use our shotgun until the second half, we're going to do the same thing here. Because in the second half of this thing, there's going to be multiple enemies at once, and that's when having the shotgun becomes more effective. So I'm going to stand behind Hoffman. You can see how she's carrying pistol ammo. There's the first enemy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that one didn't even take a full 6 shots. Sometimes it just happens that, I don't know why, they're just inconsistent with that. Anyway, the next one I think is going to come from behind me. So I'm going to stop, I'm going to start looking over there, trying to anticipate the attack. If you can shoot the enemies while they're still traveling through the fire, you'll be in a better position. Alright, so here he comes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I missed that last one, so I'm going to run to the other side of... Oh, never mind, I did kill him. Okay, so 2 down. Alright, where's the next one? Well, he snuck up behind me, and he got a cheap shot in on me. Why did that happen? Because I was looking in front of me trying to anticipate the attack instead of running around in circles like I recommended. And so that's what you're going to see me doing for the rest of this. So real quick, I should probably heal up. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to re-put the syringes in my quick item menu. I'm going to replace that with the sniper rifle. That way I can heal quickly. Alright, so here comes the next guy. You can always hear them growling. 1, 2... won't run away. He got too close. I'm going to run to the other side of Hoffman. You can do a similar strategy to what we did in Chapter 10. So if you remember in the cabin fight, we tried to lure the enemies into attacking Torres so that we could shoot them freely. You can try to do the same thing here. You can run around Hoffman and try to get the enemies to focus on her, and then you can fight them from a distance. Now, it doesn't work as well as it did with Chapter 10's cabin fight, but it still can work if you need it to. Occasionally. It's not, I wouldn't rely on that, but it is something that you can try if you're in a desperate situation. Anyway, now I'm going to stick close to Hoffman. I'm looking in front of me to make sure there's no enemies. I'm waiting to hear a growl, but you can notice all of these storage containers on the ground that have shotgun shells in them. Those are very effective. Alright, so now we're going to enter the area where there's going to be multiple enemies at once, and so now I'm going to start using my shotgun. So that guy's still a little too far away. I dodged that attack right there. So here we go. 1. It should take 2 hits to kill them. And again, we're going to do something similar to what we did in Chapter 9. If you remember in Chapter 9, oh, so perfect example right there. Notice how by running on the other side of the thing, he ended up getting caught on our machine, and that was able to buy me some time to reload. So it always pays to move around. You know, in a lot of ways, I took another piece of damage right there. So I'm not going to panic. I'm going to shoot a shock bolt. Now remember, with the shock bolt, you can actually stomp on these guys, so unless they're on fire. So unfortunately that guy, he's on fire, so I couldn't stomp him, so I'm just going to use the opportunity to shoot him with the shotgun. I dodged an attack right there. But like I was saying, we can use a lot of the strategies that we used in Chapter 9. So if you remember, back in Chapter 9, one thing I said was typically when you're fighting the fire guys, you don't want to bunker down and try to shoot them more than once, because they're very fast after you shoot them. So what I recommend doing is shooting them once, run away. Shooting them once, run away. Now obviously we have a limited area to work with here, so that makes things a little tougher, but still doable. And you'll notice how that shock bolt really saved my life right there. They were about to swing at me to deliver the killing blow, and that shock bolt saved my life. So kind of shows you just how important it is to have shock bolts in this section. In fact, for the rest of the firewalk, I'm going to be relying on those. Now, I saw this guy off in the distance, so why waste shotgun ammo if I can anticipate the attack with my pistol, which is exactly what I did. Here comes this guy. I'm going to whip out the shotgun since there's only one of him. One shot, two shots, he goes down. I never had a problem with it taking more than 2 shots to kill one of these guys, assuming you're using the sawed-off shotgun. If you're using a different shotgun, it might be different. It might be 1 shot, it might be 2 shots. I don't know, because honestly, I've never used a different shotgun in this game. I've only ever used the sawed-off shotgun. Alright, so now we're going to continue on our walk. At this point, I think multiple enemies are going to enter the circle. Whenever that happens, use the shock bolt. If it's only 1 enemy at a time, you don't have to waste a shock bolt. Just use your shotgun. Now I'm going to pull my pistol back out. I'm looking ahead of me. I'm looking behind me. I'm trying to see if there are any enemies approaching that I can shoot before they even have a chance to enter the ring of fire. There's some more shotgun shells on the ground. The machine is going to break down. I think this is the last time, and here come the enemies. So I'm going to get my shock bolt ready because there's going to be multiple of them here. Wait until the last second. Shoot that bad boy. This guy's going to fall down. I'm going to have an opportunity to stomp him. So notice what I did right there. I actually shot the first guy. While he was stumbling, I stomped on the second guy. And then I had enough time to deliver the killing blow to the first guy that I shot. So a little useful trick right there if you're able to do it. There goes that guy. He's going to fall down. I'm going to stomp on him if I get the chance, but he's on fire. But there we go, I finally got the opportunity. That guy's going to swing at me, but because I was still caught in the stomping animation, his attack missed. And then I'm going to blow him away with the shotgun. And there you go, guys. So I just skipped that cutscene because it's a pretty long cutscene. But that's the end. It's about like 4 minutes long, 5 minutes long. It's pretty stressful. But like I said, I ended up beating it on my first try, and you can see I pretty much did that by only using pistol rounds, shotgun rounds, and shock bolts. The shock bolts were very effective when there are multiple enemies in the ring. If there's only 1 enemy in the ring, you can use your shotgun. And if you see the enemy approaching you, you can use your pistol to kill them before they're even able to get to the ring. So there's a few different strategies you can take. Now, all in all, that's it's a tough fight. You know, the fact that I did it on my first try, I wouldn't call it luck. It was just having good familiarity with the game. You know, I'm kind of on the front edge of making this walkthrough here, so I obviously I've been playing this game a lot. But it is a tough fight, and most likely most people aren't going to beat it on their first try. Which is okay. It's okay. You have to learn, you have to adapt, and you have to see what weapons work better for you. Maybe you're not as good with the pistol, so maybe you just try to stock up on shotgun ammo. You know, maybe you don't like using the shock bolts, so you stock up on explosive bolts instead. You can tailor it to your own preferences. All I'm trying to do is give you guys some general strategies. So like I said, try to run in a circle when you don't see the enemies so that they have a smaller chance of sneaking up on you. If an enemy swings at you and you need to create some distance, just run around to the other side of Hoffman. Try to get the enemy caught on Hoffman so that you can reload or just calm down and maybe even shoot it from far away. But that's it, guys. Now we are at the very start of Chapter 14. However, I'm not actually going to do anything in Chapter 14. I'm just going to save my game and then be done with it. And then we're almost done. All we have left is Chapters 14, 15, 16, and 17. We have 1 save left, so right now I'm debating if I want to save at the end of Chapter 14 or if I want to save at the end of Chapter 15. I still don't know, but hopefully I'll be finishing this walkthrough pretty soon. It's looking pretty positive. I think the hardest parts are behind me, which is good. Anyway, I'm going to come to this room here. You'll notice there's a lot of supplies lying around. There's an ammo pouch right there. There's some gunpowder right here. I'm going to do most of the crafting and most of the ammo stuff in the next video, so before there's that door over there, I'll go into that door in the next video. For now, to ensure that I never have to do the firewalk again, this is where I am going to do my 6th of 7 saves. So go ahead and transport through the mirror. That will bring you to Sebastian's safe room. I'm going to save my game, and that will bring about the end of this video. So there you go, guys. That's the firewalk. It's pretty hard, but I hope my strategies were able to help you out. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. We're almost done, so let me know what you think of this walkthrough in the comments down below. I'd love to know your opinions, if it's been helping you out, if it's been fun to watch. But yeah, that'll be the end of this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.